Hey, this is an intro video for week one. I'm going to be doing this for every single week, where I'll briefly kind of discuss what we'll be doing and going through the goals and objectives and the assignments. That way, you always know we're on the same page. So I know to pull up my video and my Wartburg may not work out, but if you can, awesome. So what we'll see on my the week one, the first thing you'll see is goals and objectives. So this week we're going over chapter 1 and chapter 3. Chapter 1 really is a true intro chapter. And so if I was going to be 100% honest, it's one of the more textbooks kind of chapters. You have to read it though. There's a lot of great terms in there that we're going to be using throughout the semester or the 6 weeks. There's also, I really need you to know the ideologies, and they talk about those. There's a gender ideology, race, dominant ideology, ableist, social class, and you'll read all about it, and I need you to have a full understanding what those ideologies are and how they work within our society. What you need to make sure that you know is that there are ideas and beliefs. So these ideologies are not facts. These are not things that are necessarily supported by anything, but there are ideas and beliefs. Anyway, chapter 1 goes over a bunch of different terms. I need you to make sure that you read it and really go through the PowerPoint. Chapter 3 is where we kind of get the ball rolling a lot in, what should be a really interesting 6 weeks for you all, because these topics really should touch on a lot of things that you maybe have experienced, even if you didn't play high school sports or aren't playing college athletics. A lot of us have been around sports. So chapter 3 kind of gets the ball rolling, talking about who plays sports, how they choose to play sports, what individuals continue to play and why they continue to play. And it also starts to touch on the positive and negative effects of sports. This is the first chapter that will start to introduce this idea that not everything around sports is positive. And I have found in my time of teaching this course that this is a really difficult chapter for young athletes or people that have had good experience in sports to kind of get on board with. I am a huge fan of sports. I am a head soccer coach. So of course, I love sports and I think there's so much value in them. But this chapter starts to introduce kind of some of the things that sports does at its negative. And I think it is very important for us to start to examine that other side and really take, an honest look at some of these things. So this chapter will start to introduce those things. In week 1, as you continue to scroll down, you'll see assignments, and here's what's due for this week. So on Monday, you need to review or read chapter 1, okay, and review the PowerPoint slides. So that you need to do that on Monday. In addition, you will have seen in the Start Here tab that you need to put your sports bio. Now, what needs to be in this sports bio? Really, what I'm looking for is what was your experience with sports? And, a little background, your age, your major, and then kind of telling us what your experience with sports has been, because everybody's will have been different. And this will really help me understand where you're coming from and where your perspective is. That's not due till Tuesday, but you should work on that on Monday. Additionally, make sure that you have done the check-in quiz. Okay, that's in the coursework. Click on coursework, week 1, you'll see check-in quiz or contact information quiz. I need your contact information. Sometimes, as I put in the syllabus, sometimes people use different emails. Sometimes people are just difficult to reach, so having a cell phone is really important for me too, so make sure you do that. On Tuesday, you are to read chapter 3 and review the PowerPoint, and then answer the discussion questions for both chapter 1 and 3. Now again, you can work ahead. If you want to read both chapters and go through both PowerPoints on Monday, that is completely fine. I do like to kind of spread it out. I just want to make sure that you're taking it all in and you're not just kind of breezing through things quickly. On Wednesday, your peer responses are due. Remember, you are responding to your peers' discussion questions. So on Wednesday, you'll go back into the discussion question forum, and then there'll be a button there for you to reply, and you'll respond. And again, I'm sure a lot of you have already done this because of our online transitioning, unfortunately, at the end of the school year. So I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but at the same time, if you have questions because you have never done this, don't hesitate to ask. Thursday is your real quiz. There is going to be a quiz over chapter 1 and 3. That too is located in the coursework. Okay, so you'll go there on Thursday. Actually, it'll be open right now. It is due Thursday. I misspoke. So you can finish that quiz. You'll have 45 minutes to complete it. Once you open it, it starts. So that 45 minutes starts clicking. So make sure that you can sit down and not be interrupted. This Friday, you only have one small paper due, and that's the personal learning reflection post, okay? So remember, I talked about that in the syllabus presentation. This is really just a reflection on what you've learned throughout the week, things that stood out to you, that you've learned, whether it's from the book or from the PowerPoints that I gave you. If you can continue to scroll down, you will actually see the PowerPoint slides. So like I said, this week, you just have PowerPoint slides to read through. There will be weeks as you scroll down under the online lectures, there'll actually be lectures from me. Sometimes the PowerPoints will have videos of me similar to the syllabus. It will just kind of depend on what the chapter needs. There are some chapters that are pretty intense, and it's important that you can hear from me so I can continue to kind of elaborate what the PowerPoint is saying, okay? You continue to slide down. Week 1, we don't have any handouts, but if there are any handouts, it'll be in that section. And then the very last thing that you see here is the forum home. It says week 1 discussion. You'll see that, there might not be any post. You hit forum home, which is the last button at the bottom. That's where you're going to find our discussion questions for the week and the personal reflection section. So that's where you'll be posting those two assignments plus the peer responses, right? Because remember, I told you the peer responses will be just direct responses to the discussion questions. This week really overall is a pretty much an intro week. And, as we kind of get rolling, so much has been going on with sports due to COVID. And this is a really unprecedented time. And so to be honest with you, this is even new territory for me. There's a lot of topics that we need to make sure that we're discussing, but I need you to stay in tune with what is going on in society in relations to sport. So obviously right now, a couple things that are going on. Number 1, in the state of Iowa, high school sports start June 1st. Baseball and softball are, all full swing. NCAA is starting to come out with protocols on how we're going to move forward and have seasons next fall. And then there's some discussions of schools still not participating. So, there is a lot going on. They're looking at the Premier League coming back. How is the the NBA coming back? And it's endless. So make sure you're staying up with the news, whether that's through a certain news source like ESPN, Fox News, CNN, they all have sports pages. But make sure that you're trying to find a credible source to follow, okay? Really excited about week 1. It's just a good week to introduce a lot of the material. Please let me know if you have any questions.